Really delighted to be joined by Jim and Heather here from St. Stephen's and St. Michael's down in the city centre. Good to see you guys.
Hi, Barry. You too.
Brilliant. Lots of people will know who are watching this, who are part of the chaplaincy, but some still mightn't, that we have really enjoyed a fantastic working relationship with you guys over the last couple of years. Where St. Stephen's is located, right beside Belfast Met, has been a real door opener to ministry in the city centre on campuses and the new student halls of residences. And the teams have been down there with Sunday night worship and barbecues and cinema club. And you and the guys who come along to the church there have just been brilliant at welcoming us in and supporting all of that. And it really does feel as if it's just a growing partnership. So we want to say thank you to that, to you guys for that. And part of this is just shining a light on some of the different partners that we're working with at home and overseas, and just finding out about how the current crisis has impacted upon them. So St. Stephen's and St. Michael's, two churches and one parish. What's been the impact, in March? I'm sure just things hit you guys like a ton of bricks, like they hit the rest of us.
Well, I think coming in that St. Patrick's week, we sort of had an inkling that things were going to break down a little bit, Barry. And so the guys here were working very hard in preparing lines of communication, stuff for kids, all that sort of stuff, how we were going to cope. And we actually were assuming we were going to have something in churches that Mother's Day, but then that all broke down as well. But since then, we have moved online. We have a good Facebook service every Sunday morning. We are Zooming. We have 4 or 5 meetings every week on Zoom. A Sunday school, young people, a quiz, a Bible study. So, we're very pleased with the response that we're getting from that. And there's new things happening because of that. So church, even though it's stopped, is very much alive. What that's going to, to toddle and to walk and to jog back to in the future, not entirely sure. But we are not without hope. And not without some encouragements in the midst of what we're doing.
And you have two communities there, really, don't you? I mean, you have the folks at St. Stephen's and the folks at St. Michael's, so has there been
The challenge has been really that a lot of our people are a little bit older rather than younger, let's say, and the tech is not there, but we've been trying to help them, support them, and Heather can tell you a wee bit about what we've been doing there. So we actually believe we're doing our best and have actually reached the majority of our people either by phone call, magazine, or by something they've seen online over the last 6-7 weeks, which has been really good.
Great. Well, how has it been for you, Heather? I know that our guys have had a fantastic link in with yourself, especially in driving campus ministry forward, but what's it been like in the last sort of 6-7 weeks?
I find it really difficult personally, because I'm very much a people person and I'm out there with all ages, and I must admit I am really struggling with the current situation. And I suppose it's been a really steep learning curve, because while Jim's doing the services, I'm behind the camera. And we've had lots of, I wouldn't like to do a blooper reel.
Sort of like
husband and wife working together, I really wouldn't like to do a blooper reel. But we've had some, out of focus or soft focus or no focus. So it's been quite funny, really. But we're doing our best to reach as many as we can. And a lot of our older people, as Jim says, don't have any technology. So we've been burning DVDs with portable DVD players we're taking to some of the older people, and just doing our best to keep in touch. We have parishioners on a telephone rota, and we're ringing all of our older people in particular on a regular basis. And actually that's been very interesting, because once you're on the phone, they want a really good chat. And you actually get to hear a lot from them. And we're learning a lot about people that we didn't know before. So it's interesting. On our Bible study going online, we have people, the nature of one of our churches in particular is a lot of people driving. And they're not living locally anymore. And they don't necessarily come to Bible study or things like that. But on Zoom, they are. So it's very interesting, and we're just talking about what we do beyond lockdown, that actually some of these things might continue online.
It's pretty clear that beyond lockdown isn't, we're in lockdown and now we're not. You know,
Yes.
we're going to have some blended re-emergence out of this for quite some time, and indeed even the medium and longer term might still be impacted by what we're doing. And yeah, I was having a chat with a colleague earlier who was saying precisely the same, that some of their midweek Bible studies that people might struggle ordinarily to get to, actually, if you remove the commute and you kind of remove the fact of the sense of it being an entire evening, actually people are kind of coming in for 45 minutes or an hour and they're enjoying it. So we'll see.
Yeah, and particularly in the winter months, you know, for some of our older people, they don't want to travel. So coming online is perfect. But
we're missing people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but for our kids, I mean, we have a really good sort of after school situation on 2 afternoons, and we had a messy church which was growing. And part of the problem there is that a lot of our community families have their phones and they have data on their phones, but they don't have Wi-Fi in the house, and they don't necessarily want to come on Zoom and use all of their data.
Okay.
So we can't really connect that way. So we started doing activity packs for the kids, and we started with our after school groups and then our Sunday school, and then we have a very good relationship with our local primary school. So we're connecting in with them, and we would usually have maybe about 18 kids in an afternoon, and we have about 9 or 10 in Sunday school, but we're actually providing packs for 63 children.
Yeah.
And we're putting in prayer activities, we're putting in a Bible story. So, you know, there are connections we didn't have before, which is very interesting.
For the benefit of people who are watching this, and I've said St. Stephen's, St. Michael's, you're beside Belfast Met, you're in the city centre. Where is that catchment area, you know, for both of those two churches?
Yeah.
Well, our catchment area actually goes into nearly the whole of North Belfast. We would have people living out as far as Newton Abbey, right round to maybe towards Glencairn, back in towards the city centre. So we have quite a broad catch. But St. Michael's itself is a very small parish, basically bounded by the Lower Shankill Road and the Crumlin Road. But St. Stephen's is an older parish that takes in probably St. Luke's, St. Matthias's parish, the name but a few, and runs up to the Spectrum Centre and on into West Belfast. So it's quite a broad area. So there's quite a broad area where we can poke our nose in legitimately because it's our parish. You know?
We're basically either side of the Shankill Road.
Yeah.
St. Stephen's, St. Luke's going up the left-hand side as far as
Spectrum.
The Spectrum Centre up there. And on the right-hand side is St. Michael's, just really in and around the estate.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, one of the reasons for getting you on is, as I was chatting, we've been chatting with different partners, you know, the food bank here locally that we work with, and Abana and Wakisa out in Uganda that we work with. And it's just to try and communicate and raise awareness about different ministries and different people who have their own challenges at this time. And we don't know what the future is going to necessarily hold for what campus ministry looks like. You know, we're just going to have to wait and see as we get information from the universities about what's open and what's not and whatever. But what could our community be praying for you guys, you know, as the weeks and months go ahead? I know it's uncertain for all of us, but what will be good things for us to be aware of and to be praying into?
Sorry, if I can say, we very much miss the team, you know. Can I say I miss my wee honey James? Will I embarrass him?
I am here, darling.
Not this James, but James and Rachel and you know, Jim and Amy and all the guys coming down. We've got to such a good place.
Yeah.
You know, the Tuesday lunches were going so well. Now, on a Sunday night, it was lovely just to watch those guys grow and develop themselves, and just just watch them blossom was a real joy. And they had done so much hard work and done so well and getting to a really nice position and things beginning to grow. So it's very hard, that sort of ending so abruptly. So, you know, pray for the team, because I'm sure it was tough on us. They bring youth and vitality and a lovely spirituality with them, and they really add to the family of St. Stephen's. But I'm sure it was hard for them, just that coming to an end.
Absolutely.
You know? So we're praying for them, and I'm sure you're praying for them too. And the future, who knows? But you know, it was exciting. It was becoming more. It will be exciting again.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I do think, we don't know, there's a lot of uncertainty, but I do think that God has so much to come. We'll be in a different time, but an equally exciting, even more exciting time. So who knows?
Jim, you were going to jump in there with some prayers as well?
I actually think that the stuff that we're doing at the moment, while not being what people would have called traditional church, is still very much church and fellowship. And it's sort of laying a foundation for building and jumping back onto somewhere maybe where we were before, but also maybe going deeper and further. Because one of the things is that there is a spiritual hunger, we believe, out there, particularly through these days. Stephen Whitten and I had been doing street evangelism once a month, actually, at St. Stephen's, and really, we were really getting into that, and then suddenly it stopped. So we have the potential of a future doorstep ministry there, based even around some of the stuff that you guys from Hub have been doing. And interestingly enough, we have been distributing literature on the doorstep of St. Stephen's, and people have been lifting wee New Testaments and other stuff that I've been leaving there. It's all been disappearing. And incidentally, I do believe people are taking it, because I've seen someone take it, and I've also seen people looking at it as they walk past. So there is something there, and we have to pray that, you know, the Lord will allow that to blossom, and that will be a growth in church and fellowship going forward in the future.
Brilliant. Well, look, I'm going to leave that there for everybody who's watching this, who's getting this from our email or on our Facebook page or whatever, to be thinking of you guys and the work down there at St. Stephen's, St. Michael's, the congregations there, the communities that you're in and amongst and working with, the primary school and the people that you're trying to reach. We are really, really blessed by the open door that you've provided and the relationships that are being built and the partnership there. And you know, it will come back and it will be different. But you know, we are people of hope, and we're people who believe that actually what's in store in front of us can be greater than what we've had. And so, so thank you both very much. And this is just a little thank you from us to you, and also just great to have you come and share what's going on in your ministries and the churches there, so that people can have a better understanding of who you are and what you do. So thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all that you do, and helping us as well.
Yeah.
No problem. Listen, God bless, folks.
Yeah.
You too.
Take care. Bye.